Welcome to Empress Moon Tarot 777 Ocean Moonflower. I am a spiritual advisor in tarot astrology, Reiki, twin flames, and mysticism. I'm also a bartender and mortgage loan originator and a former realtor working on reinstating my real estate license. So, I do a lot of things, but the one thing that I am up here and known most for is my tarot. I have been reading tarot since 1993, quite a long time. And tarot is something that I truly love. I love how inspiring it can be to other people. And I love how tarot helps people to find their own answers. I may read the energy that I see and I may interpret the cards that are in front of me when I'm doing a reading, but it's you, dear viewer, who actually receives the message, actually interprets the message, and actually finds the message for yourself through that data, those data points that I deliver to you regarding what I'm energetically seeing. So I find tarot to be an amazing tool for, self-exploration, for, kind of just natural reflection, as well as for trying to make sense of, thoughts when you have jumbled up thoughts or trying to figure out, your next move on things. Tarot can be utilized for so many different possibilities. So today I am going to show you five decks. This is for Tarot Tuesday. Tarot Tuesday, woo! I hope you're loving this themed content because I know I am. Tarot Tuesday, we are going to talk about my top five, my top five decks for you if you are a beginner tarot reader. Also, if you are a beginner tarot reader, please stay tuned because my classes on intuitive tarot reading are going to be coming out soon. I am ingrained in the work for that right now, and hopefully it will be available to you very, very soon. So one of the decks that I'm going to recommend to you to use, and we will be using this in our beginners class for tarot, is the Rider-Waite deck. Now, I could cue up a history lesson right now, but that's also in my tarot class, so we're not going to go into it. But Rider and Waite are two of the names of the people who created this wonderful deck. And there was actually three people that worked on the deck. Four originally, one broke off and created the Toth deck, and that was Aleister Crowley broke off and created the Toth deck, while the other three continued work on this wonderful deck that we now all recognize as the basis for many other decks. It's been the foundational deck for other decks that have come into being since. It's also my understanding that many of the imagery on here is no longer copyrighted. However, the decks themselves are copyrighted. And so just so you are aware, you cannot actually copy these decks and create a deck for sale without express permission from the producers of the decks now. However, the imagery itself did fall out of copyright at one point in time. So the reason why I like the Rider-Waite deck, it holds to many of the traditional meanings. When it was created, it was focusing on the traditional meanings of these cards and expounding upon them. Tarot cards have been around for quite some time, and Rider and Waite were trying to condense a lot of the meanings of these cards and portray it in the imagery. So the imagery on the Rider-Waite deck is extremely vivid. We have extremely vivid cards that are easy to interpret. They're easy to interpret based upon your intuitive knowing as well as actual, book knowledge of the meanings of these cards. They're easy to interpret in terms of seeing how the cards align with one another and how they lend their energy to the cards that are beside them. The vivid colors also stimulate the senses, stimulate the chakra system because there's so many vivid colors here. And when they stimulate the chakra system, that creativity creative side of the brain gets stimulated, as well as the third eye. So interpreting these cards becomes so much easier for a beginner tarot reader because of the vivid imagery, because of the vivid colors. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, the Rider-Waite deck comes in many sizes, including a little tiny mini one that you can carry in your purse. Can't really shuffle it too well, but it's fun nonetheless. So this is the deck that I purchased for the tarot classes that I've been creating. So this particular deck is the one that I'm using in the main intuitive tarot class. I also have a much smaller deck here. This deck I use for clarifying cards when I'm doing a tarot reading. It's perfect for that. I also have smaller decks than this, which I use for clarifying as well. And the imagery in this particular Rider-Waite deck is even more vivid than the last. So you see, like, the colors here are so much more vivid. Look at this Emperor and all that Mars red energy showing up here on this particular card. Or how about this, the Lovers here, where we see the angel above the two lovers and all the imagery there as well. So these are great cards to begin with. Rider-Waite deck would be my top choice for you. Absolutely, hands down, top choice for a beginner tarot reader. Now, my number 2 choice for you would be the Morgan Greer deck. The Morgan Greer deck was derived off of our foundational deck of the Rider-Waite. So we see imagery that is very similar in concept, very similar in how they are presented. And these are extremely vivid as well. Now, there is a lot of yellow coloring in the Morgan Greer deck. So for anybody who may be struggling with their solar plexus chakra and feeling a little bit nervous about presenting tarot to other people, or having some sort of self-doubt, I feel that the Morgan Greer deck kind of helps work on that solar plexus chakra while you're working on the tarot as well. And it's also with the throat chakra. So if you are one of those beginner tarot readers, maybe you've already worked with the Rider-Waite deck, but you're just feeling a little bit unclear about whether or not you feel you have the inner confidence to speak out and help people with tarot, this would be a great deck for you, because the blues and the yellows are going to stimulate the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra very strongly. The imagery on these is also very easy to interpret. It's very easy to see how they exist with other cards and their interactions to be able to properly interpret the message. Deck number 3. Deck number 3, the one that I have chosen for you, is also along the same sort of whimsy, shall we say. It is a fun deck to learn off of, and tarot should be fun. Tarot should be fun. You never want to put your own energy into the cards, because when you put your own energy into the cards, when you're reading for another soul, that is, when you put your own energy into the cards when you're reading for another soul, it's going to drain you. You're not going to feel that sense of excitement. You're not going to feel that sense where the energy is sort of leading you onward. But when you're allowing the tarot and the energy that you're picking up from whomever you're reading for, when you allow that energy to kind of move through the cards, and you have this sense of whimsy that we have in this particular deck, it makes tarot fun. And making tarot fun will also help you to see and to release this mental block of, oh gosh, what if I get it wrong, right? As a new tarot reader, this next deck is very good at showing you some different imagery along the same lines, but some different imagery that can help increase your intuitive knowledge of the cards. And it is called the Everyday Witch Tarot. I love this deck. Now, mine is a small one. I use it for clarifying, But look at how incredibly beautiful this Queen of Cups is. Oh my goodness, so gorgeous. And here's our Three of Cups. And then, of course, y'all know my favorite Queen of Wands. Man, does she look awesome here, sitting with her dragon and her wand. So the cards in this particular deck have a sense of whimsy. They're fun. They're just so fun to look at, to interpret, to connect with. They're beautiful. And so this is a great one. The imagery on the cards, once again, has been derived from the foundational deck of the Rider-Waite deck. So we see the 4 traditional suits. We also see several cards that are connected to the meanings that we see with the Rider-Waite deck. Deck number 4 is actually my favorite deck of the 5 in terms of imagery. The imagery is magnanimous. And those of you that have been with me for 6 years know that my absolute favorite tarot deck creator is Ciro Marchetti. I have got every single one of his decks. I love the Marchetti decks above all others. His artwork is so incredible. And this particular deck is called the Gilded deck, the Gilded Tarot. This is the back of the deck. The imagery is so incredibly beautiful. It's almost like you're looking at a painting. So here's our 6 of Swords. Even our Grief and Heartbreak card is quite beautiful. And look at this stunning King of Coins. He looks like he's mastering something. Standing watch over his people. And our cunning little Page of Swords here. The imagery in this particular deck is just fantastic, and it can be intuitively interpreted as well. The interpretations of these particular cards are easy for a beginner because they too have several elements that you see in a Rider-Waite deck. Look at the 10 of Cups here. And for that reason, it makes them easy to interpret and easy to interpret how the cards interact with one another. Very good for intuitive reading. Super good for intuitive reading. These are just absolutely stunning. Look at that. Oh, and look at our Hierophant. Doesn't he look majestic? So this is a fantastic deck as well. And the number 5 from my collection of 86 tarot decks. I clearly love tarot decks. Number 5, this is considered a beginner tarot deck. I do think it's good for beginners, but I also find it to be lacking in some ways, okay? So I'm just going to note that. That's why it is my last pick of the 5. It is called the Easy Tarot. It does come with a companion book. And the companion book could be of help to you while you're learning to interpret the cards. I have personally not read this book. I have not even skimmed through this book. I mean, you could see it's not, the edges are still sharp as can be. I have not even looked at it, so I cannot attest to whether the content within it is accurate. Just a note. I would hope that it is, but I cannot attest to the fact that it is. This particular deck, the Easy Tarot, it has some strong imagery on it as well, but I feel like there's, because of the black border around the edge, that it's taken away some really brilliant space to produce a strong intuitive imagery. And so some of these cards, while many of them are very much in line with something that you can intuitively read, I feel that the black border might be a little bit confusing for some. It may make seeing the connections between the cards a little bit more difficult for a beginner tarot reader. And so, but they are vivid. They are beautiful. They absolutely are beautiful. Love them. Super strong imagery. So this would be my number 5 pick for you. Those are my top 5 tarot decks for beginners coming from Empress Moon Tarot 777. And I will put Amazon affiliate links down below for anybody who's interested in those decks. Anybody who's going to be taking my beginner's tarot class when it comes about, might want to grab yourself a Rider-Waite deck because we will be using that. If you feel drawn to any other deck at any given point in time as your beginner deck, go with it. Go with the energy. If the energy is drawing you to that deck, go with that. But if you find that it is a little bit confusing or you're struggling to connect with the decks, consider coming back to this video, looking at the 5 decks that I have here and seeing whether or not any of those are something that will help you to learn tarot much simpler. Now, I have seen on many other locations, people tend to gravitate towards the Light Seers Tarot. The Light Seers Tarot is one that I use on the channel quite frequently. The reason I use it is because it's vivid and it's easy to be seen on camera. As a beginner's deck, I do not recommend this. I know, I just said I do not recommend this as a beginner's deck. I feel some of the decks can be, the interpretations of some of the cards can be confusing for a beginner. And therefore, while the imagery is quite vivid, quite beautiful, it's very exciting imagery, I do feel like some of the cards, like especially this Ace of Wands, can be confusing for a beginner tarot reader. And as a beginner tarot reader, you may struggle to have that foundation that all other decks are derived from. So you want to get that foundational basis for reading tarot to be able to open up yourself to many other potential ones in the future. As you become more adept at it, as you connect to tarot more frequently and much easier, then I would recommend moving to decks that have some unique imagery and some unique suits and things of that nature. For instance, I have the Stranger Things Tarot. They don't use coins or pentacles, wands, swords, and cups. They use ice cream cones, spokes on a wheel, strings of light, things of that nature. And so that would definitely not be something good for a beginner tarot reader. So I hope this was an insightful video for you guys. Thanks for joining me for Tarot Tuesday. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Wealth Wisdom Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'll let you know Thursday's cocktail that we will be doing for Tipsy Thursday is the Fireside Negroni. Super excited about that for you guys. And then we have Fate and Stars Friday. So I look forward to seeing you all there. I'm getting ready to do some zodiac reads as well. Love and light, my darlings. Love and light. Mahalo nui loa. Kiss, kiss. And I shall see you again soon. Ta-ta for now.